pillowy, soft interior and a perfectly crispy outside, slathered in butter and topped with cheese. Gnocchis are one of my favorite winter pantry foods to make. They are really simple. They come together with only a few basic ingredients. And today I'm going to share with you a pink version in honor of Valentine's Day. We need some potatoes, and different recipes call for different methods here. Some people say you can boil them, some people say you bake them. I have tried both ways. I tend to prefer the baked method. So here I have leftover baked potatoes. They were in the refrigerator overnight. You can use them warm or cold. Either way is gonna work just fine. The first step is just to get them peeled. Once you get your potatoes peeled, you just need to get them mashed up to start forming your dough. If you have a potato ricer, that works phenomenally, but if not, a fork will definitely do. It just takes a little bit of elbow grease. When you're selecting potatoes for gnocchi, you want to select a floury, starchy variety rather than a waxy type of potato. But there are a ton of great varieties in all sorts of colors that do have a floury texture that will work really well here. You're not looking for creamy, smooth mashed potatoes or anything. You just want to make sure there aren't any crunchy parts or big lumps, and you're going for a kind of sandy, mealy texture. Now for this batch, we're going to use some beets to give it a little extra flavor, but also a really fun pink color. These are pre-cooked and peeled. Again, you can boil them or you can bake them with your potatoes, and then just get them peeled. And we're gonna do the same thing. If we can, mash them with the fork, and if not, I'm gonna blitz them with the blender. These are actually really soft, that's great. Now just bring this dough together and check for any lumps. If you used the ricer, you're not gonna need to worry about this, but if you're using a fork, you're probably gonna need to go through and give it another pass, try to get it just a little bit more finely textured. Now we add in an egg, and there are gnocchi recipes that do not call for eggs, but I find that those just fall apart. One egg for a batch about this size really helps hold everything together and bind that dough. Mix in a pinch of salt, and get that egg fully incorporated into the rest of your potato dough. Now we add some flour. You guys may notice I'm not really sharing specific quantities of anything for this recipe, and that is because gnocchis are best made without a recipe. The water content in all of your ingredients can vary greatly batch to batch, and so the best thing to do is to learn to look for the right consistency in your dough and just add enough flour to reach that goal, no matter the quantity of potatoes or the vegetable purees or other add-ins that you're using. The dough should be very soft, a little fluffy, pillowy. You don't want to work it too much, but once it is just right, it's holding together, go ahead and flour the top and the bottom. We're gonna cut it into fourths or eighths, depending on how big your batch is, and roll these out into logs. Use a knife or your bench scraper to cut your gnocchis into about 1-inch pieces. Now you could leave them just like this, or you can roll them. They make special boards for this, but you could also use a fork and just kind of gently roll them on your fork to give you some little grooves, more surface area for your sauce to hold on to. Sometimes I will put the effort in to do that, but most of the time I leave them plain. This is also the point if you want to set some of your batch aside for later, you can freeze them. To cook your gnocchis, all you need to do is have a pot of boiling water going, add your gnocchis to the boiling water, and just wait until they float to the top. Meanwhile, I'm getting some butter heated up in a skillet. My favorite thing to do is get them out of the water, put them straight into the hot butter skillet, and let them sizzle away, fry on each side to get that crispy golden exterior. You don't have to fry them afterwards. You can pop them into any sauce that you like. They are extremely versatile and it's really hard to mess them up. They are good pretty much no matter what you pair them with. You can serve your gnocchis as a main dish like pasta or as a great side. Here I'm just grating over a little bit of Parmesan and I can't wait to try these. Thank you guys for cooking with me again today. I hope you enjoyed this simple gnocchi tutorial. Remember, this is super customizable. You can switch out the beets for any other kind of veggie puree you like. Spinach, I love it with winter squash, or even try with sweet potatoes instead of the white Irish potatoes. Gnocchis are really fun, they're hard to mess up, and they are just delicious. If you guys enjoyed this recipe, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and of course, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.